Hey guys, it's Aislinn, and in today's video, we're going to be bleaching my roots, and it is way past time. These roots are so grown out. I haven't bleached them since August, so it's been a while. It's been much longer than 8 weeks. So today we're gonna lighten my roots. I thought, why not have a little battle of the bleaches and see which one is better? Currently, I have 3 favorite bleaches. The Bondbar one at Sally Beauty is one of my favorites. Danger Jones lightener is really good, and then the Schwarzkopf lightener is also one of my favorites. So I figured let's try these two against each other today. This one's professional. This one you can get at Sally Beauty. They're both bond enhancing lighteners, so they're pretty comparable. So let's test them today. And then I'm going to use a standard 20 volume developer. I want to use the same developer for both lighteners, so I'm going to be using this one. Let's go ahead and mix both of these up, a 1:2 or 1 to 1.5 ratio, meaning 1 part of lightener, 2 parts developer, or 1.5 parts developer. So I'm going to get these mixed up. I'm going to section off my hair and we're going to apply the lightener. I do still have some leftover greenish yellow. I think that this might take care of that. At least I'm hoping, like the bleach running through my ends will take care of the residual green. I'm fine with the gray on my ends. I don't care. I like it. It can stay. But this little spot right here, I'm hoping that gets taken care of today. I do just want to show you a 360 of my hair. So let me spin around, break it apart, and I'll show you what it looks like. I still have some banding happening in through there. Here's the back. Let me split it down the middle for you guys. All right, let's section it off and see what happens. I actually decided I'm going to split my hair into 6 parts today instead of just doing 4. I really have to be careful. I'm starting to get some breakage in my crown area, so I want to be extremely careful when I'm applying this lightener and make sure to not get it on any of my ends or accidentally overlap it. I have 2 partings here, one on this side, one on this side, and then I just split the back sections into 2. So hopefully this helps make it easier and makes it more thorough. Let's do Danger Jones on my right, Bondbar on my left. And I'm gonna try and make this like even. So I'm gonna apply the back section over here first, then I'll apply the back section over here, then I'll apply the front section over here, and then the front section over here to kind of equal out like how long the lightener's sitting on my hair for. The Bondbar lightener is my favorite scented bleach ever. Normally I'm like, I don't care about scented bleach because it normally smells anyway, but the Bondbar smell, it almost has like a grape smell and it smells delicious. I also like that Bondbar is a gray toned. Most lighteners are blue. This one has like almost like a charcoal color to it, but it's not charcoal bleach. Here's a Danger Jones lightener. It's just a typical light blue. I'm also excited to see which one of these lighteners swells up more, if one swells up more than the other. So let's go ahead and get my 2 mirrors set up so that way I can see the back of my head, and I'm gonna turn off the lights so I can see a little bit better, and let's start applying this very carefully. I'm gonna start with Danger Jones in my back right section. So like I said, I did split my hair into 6 sections this time instead of 4, and I do think that helped a lot in multiple ways. Number 1, it helped to make sure that I didn't miss any spots. Normally when I just do 2 big sections in the back instead of breaking it up, it's a lot easier to miss sections back there because normally your hair is more dense in the back and you have more of it because your hair goes all the way down to the nape of your neck, whereas the front 2 quadrants are normally really thin anyway. Now they're all very balanced and it's easier to apply. It also keeps the partings a lot cleaner. You're taking smaller sections, applying the lightener more specifically in certain areas, so that way everything stays clean and you're making sure to saturate, and it just makes the whole application easier. So I will probably stick to doing this in the future. Now that I have that back section done, I'm gonna switch to the Bondbar one, and then I'm gonna do this back section, and then we'll move on to the front. I wanted to make sure that I was really careful with the application this time. I am starting to get some more breakage, and that's not from bleaching my roots, that's from doing color removers, using permanent color. Like you guys know, I'm switching my hair all the time, which is why I'm starting to try and lean into color correcting instead of just jumping to a color remover. But when it comes to sponsorships or paid things like that, I do tend to jump to removing the color, so that way I'm able to take on more job opportunities. So I'm trying to be more gentle on my hair with color correcting instead of just jumping to color removal methods. But you got to think, the hair that's on my head has been there for years, so it's taken a lot of abuse over the years, which is obviously going to make breakage happen. So I am starting to have some breakage. So this time I wanted to make sure that I was really precise with where I was applying the lightener, and I wanted to take my time and make sure to not overlap on any of the other hair that was already blonde. All right, we are back. We're gonna go ahead and do the front, and because I started first with Danger Jones in the back, I'm gonna start in the front with this, so that way it kind of balances the timing out. So that way the back section, Danger Jones is gonna be sitting on a little bit longer than the front, but the front section, the Bondbar is gonna be sitting on a little bit longer. So that way it kind of evens out the timing. Just gonna apply this. I really am trying to be careful, and I am gonna apply it front to back, so that way all the hair goes towards the back. That way I'm not like putting the lightener on the other side by flipping my hair over. Trying not to cross contaminate and getting lightener on one side that's not on the other. Trying to keep both sides on their own. You know what show I started watching? I didn't even know this show existed, okay? It's called The Real Housewives. Is that what it's called? The Desperate Housewives? I actually can't even remember what it's called. Hey Siri, what is The Desperate Housewives?
On the surface, the ladies of Wisteria Lane appeared to be the picture of suburban America. But underneath lay bigger mysteries, infidelity, deceit, blackmail, and even murder. And with not so honest husbands, complicated relationships, family drama, and meddling neighbors adding to the turmoil, it's no wonder things aren't always as they seem.
Okay, so there you go. That is The Desperate Housewives. That's what I've been watching. I saw a TikTok came up on my For You page, and somebody in the comments was like, oh, what I wouldn't do to watch this show again for the first time. Anytime I see somebody say that about a show, I know it's about to be a good show. So of course my ass, next morning I'm like, what is this show that everybody is loving? And like, oh my God, I would die if I could just see it all over again for the first time. I'm like, anytime anybody's ever said that and I went and watched what they were talking about, I have loved it. So I went and watched it, and it is good, you guys. I'm still on the first season. The first episode, I was like, what the like, me and my husband were sitting there, started watching it. I had heard of the Desperate Housewives before. I thought it was a reality show. Like, what's it? I think it's The Real Housewives. Is that the difference? The Real Housewives of like Orange County or Beverly Hills or whatever. I just thought it was like that. I didn't realize it was like a dramatized, you know, TV series instead of like reality TV. But it's freaking good. And the time setting, it's 2004 to 2011 is when it was filmed. So it's like peak my childhood, you know, and I get like the vibes and all the feels from the fashion and everything from when I was a kid. So I'm loving it so far. And it's so accurate, you know, like all the relationships and like the housewife, you know, the 2000s was a very much housewife divorce era, and it's just like so spot on with some of the things, and it just reminds me of growing up. So I'm excited to finish watching it. There's 8 seasons. Like I said, I'm only on the first one, but I'm excited to finish watching it and see if it keeps being good or if it takes a dive at some point. I will say this show I got right into. First episode, I was hooked. Most series, the first few episodes suck and you kind of gotta get through the first 3 episodes to start enjoying it. This one, immediately, first episode, hook, line, and sinker, I was hooked. My husband also is finding it interesting and he likes to watch it with me too. All right, we have the Bondbar lightener applied all over on this side of my head. So I am going to let this side sit. We're gonna move over to the Danger Jones lightener side. I will say I already feel some differences between the 2 lighteners. Danger Jones is a little bit more gritty. It is easier to see where you apply it though, because it is that lighter blue. With the Bondbar lightener, because it's that charcoal gray and my natural color is kind of like a dirty dishwater color, it blends in and it's kind of hard to see where you've put the lightener until it starts lifting your roots. It's kind of difficult to see what parts you put it on and what parts you didn't. Whereas, you know, this one's a lighter blue, you can immediately see where you apply it at. So if you struggle with application or you're new to it, it's kind of important to see where you're applying the lightener. So the Danger Jones one might be easier for you to do an application if you're not used to like the way it feels to apply the lightener. If you're a person who consistently lightens their roots at home, then you shouldn't have any issues using the Bondbar lightener. But for a beginner, if you're bleaching your own roots, I would recommend using a lightener that you can see a little bit easier, so that way you know you're getting everything coated. Or what you can do is go through and cross-check. That's what I do. You guys know every time I lighten my roots, I go through the sections and I cross-check, make sure that I did not miss anything. In like 5 to 10 minutes, the lightener, you'll start to see your roots lifting. So I like to go back through and you will obviously see if you missed any like brown spots. If you do use the Bondbar lightener, just wait 5 to 10 minutes. Your regrowth will start lifting that orange color. You're going to be able to see those darker spots that you might have missed. The Bondbar side is tingling a little bit more than the Danger Jones side. The Danger Jones lightener is also a little bit more gritty. The Bondbar one is a little bit more smooth. So those are just some of the differences I'm feeling and experiencing so far. I like them both about equally. We'll see how good the lift is between the two and see, you know, which one lifts better, because ultimately that's what you're aiming for. You want a lightener that's going to give you the best amount of lift. So satisfying watching my regrowth get covered up. Anytime a bleaching roots or root touch-up video comes up on my For You page on TikTok, I always watch it because it's so satisfying to just watch the color saturate over the darker regrowth. It's just like soothing to watch it get covered. I also let my oils on my scalp accumulate. I haven't washed my hair in a long time because I knew I would be bleaching it sometime. Protect my scalp a little bit more, and I like bleaching my hair on like an oily scalp rather than like clean hair. I just like the way it feels better to wait until your hair's a little bit oily. We're gonna see if this green gets lifted out because right now it's not looking like it's gonna go anywhere. All right, I just set my timer for 45 minutes. I have both sides applied. While the 45 minutes is processing, I'm gonna go back through both sides, make sure I did not miss any spots in my hair. That's the last thing I wanna do. When my hair is more grown out like this, I feel like I miss more spots. I don't drag down the lightener enough because I'm scared of overlapping. So I am gonna go through, thoroughly check everything, make sure I did not miss any spots, and I will be right back after the timer is up and we will see which side looks lighter. All right, I am back after just rough drying my hair. Here is the finished result. Both sides to me look pretty much identical. I don't see a difference at all. Like literally they lifted pretty much equal. Let me spin around and show you guys the back real quick, and then I'll tell you guys the differences I noticed while it was processing and while I was applying it. So let's look at the back. All right, here they are next to each other. I don't see a difference. I think they look the exact same. It might be a little bit damp back here, but as you guys can see, they lifted literally the same. Some differences I noticed: the Danger Jones side definitely swells a lot more than the Bondbar side. So if you don't like swelling in your lightener, then I would recommend the Bondbar side. The Bondbar texture is a little bit thicker and stiffer, but it's less grainy. The Danger Jones is a little bit more grainy and it's a little bit more of a whipped consistency. I feel like the Bondbar stays put. It doesn't slide around as much. When I was rinsing out my hair, this side definitely felt drier. This side felt a little bit slick. So there was a difference when I rinsed out the lightener, how my hair felt. However, after putting product in my hair and blow drying it, the sides feel exactly the same. I did not notice more breakage on one side than the other. Pretty much the exact same results. The Bondbar lightener did tingle my scalp a little bit more than the Danger Jones one did. Overall, I feel like they are pretty much identical in the way they're going to lift your hair. I guess it kind of just depends on preference. Also, one is professional, one is not. So it's a lot easier to get your hand on the Bondbar lightener. It also smells a lot better than the Danger Jones one. I love the smell of the Bondbar lightener. It cuts down on that like heavy bleach smell and it kind of just smells like grapes. So I really like the Bondbar lightener. I think it's a great option. And so far it's my favorite lightener that Sally Beauty offers. You can also buy their step 1 and pump an extra pump of bond enforcing into the lightener. Here's what that looks like. So you can just buy this and just add a pump in there. I think on the instructions, it does recommend to add some of this in there on top of it. I didn't today just for, you know, scientific experiment. I didn't want to alter one and not the other, but I think it does recommend you add a pump of that in there. Also, the Bondbar has a whole line of hair care. So once you get done bleaching, they have toners, they have hair care, you know, they have treatments, they have everything you need, and it's all available at Sally Beauty or online. So I think I lean a little bit more towards the Bondbar option just because I think it's easier for people to get their hands on. Danger Jones, you do have to have a license, or maybe you could get it on Amazon. I'm not sure, but the Bondbar one just seems like it's easier to get a hold of. It also seems very user-friendly. They have a whole system that you can buy and use, and you're not questioning what do I do after I bleach it. They got the whole situation for you. That is all for today's video. I will leave both of these lighteners linked in the description down below in case you guys want to try them for yourself. Don't forget to check out my Instagram. The link to that is in the description down below. I post way more of my everyday life on there. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.